If your teeth are turning yellow, it is probably not your coffee and it is probably not your brushing. It is a silent metabolic signal that almost no dentist is trained to catch. And here is the uncomfortable truth. Whitening strips do not fix the cause. They just make your teeth weaker, more porous, and more stained over time. But today I am going to show you the real root cause, why it keeps coming back no matter how many strips you buy, and exactly how to whiten your teeth naturally without destroying your enamel in the process. This is a longer video than usual because this topic deserves it. Stick with me to the end because the protocol I'm giving you today builds in layers, and if you skip ahead, you'll miss the piece that actually makes it work. We have all been trained to think that yellow teeth are a cosmetic problem, something that lives on the surface, something you scrub away. So what do? We attack the surface. We scrub harder, we brush harder, we bleach stronger, and every single time we do that, we strip the enamel even more and we make it thinner. Thinner enamel means more of the underlying layer shows through, which ironically makes teeth look even more yellow over time. It is a loop, and most people have been stuck in that loop for years without ever realizing it. But what if the yellow is not coming from the outside at all? Here is what I need you to understand. Your teeth are porous. Think of a tooth like a sponge, but a sponge made of hard stone. From the outside it looks solid, smooth, impenetrable, but on the inside it is full of microscopic holes, channels, and tubules, and just like a sponge, your teeth absorb liquids and hold on to color. Once that color soaks in, it is very hard to get it back out through surface cleaning alone. Now here is the part nobody tells you. Your enamel responds to pH, specifically to the pH of your saliva, and your saliva pH is a reflection of what is happening inside your body, your gut health, your liver's ability to process and clear toxins. Your hydration status, your mineral levels, and your overall metabolic health all show up in that saliva. When your saliva turns acidic, several things happen at once. Stains bind more easily to the enamel surface. The enamel itself weakens and becomes more porous, and any whitening you attempt becomes temporary at best, because you are fighting an internal current that keeps pulling you back. I have worked with tens of thousands of people over the last 17 years, and these are the internal triggers I see again and again, in almost the exact same order, in person after person. Acid reflux, including the silent kind you cannot even feel because it never produces the classic burning sensation, liver congestion, gut imbalance, and low-grade dysbiosis, mineral deficiencies, especially calcium, magnesium, and phosphate, chronic dehydration, and high levels of systemic inflammation. So you can keep whitening and your teeth will keep turning yellow because this was never primarily a surface stain. It is a biochemical imbalance playing out in real time on the one part of your body you look at in the mirror every single day. Before we go further, I want you to actually answer a few of these questions in your head. Honestly, not just skim past them. Do your teeth yellow evenly across the whole tooth, or mostly near the gum line? Do you build up plaque no matter how carefully or how often you brush? Are your gums inflamed, and do they bleed when you brush or floss? Do you have any degree of gum recession? Do you wake up with a dry mouth? Do you deal with reflux, bloating, or bad breath on a regular basis? Do you notice your teeth feel more sensitive after eating something acidic or sugary? If you said yes to even one or two of those, your mouth is waving a red flag at you. Your body is always trying to communicate. This is not about laziness. This is not about poor hygiene. This is about biology. Your mouth is the front line of your internal health, and it shows the truth long before most other symptoms become obvious elsewhere. So when your whitening routine keeps failing, keeps disappointing you, keeps costing you money with results that fade in weeks, it is because you are treating the symptom and never touching the actual source. By the way, this video runs a little longer than usual because I wanted to walk through this properly, layer by layer, instead of rushing it. If that's useful to you, please subscribe. It genuinely helps us keep making deeper videos like this one instead of shallow ones. Let's continue. Here is what actually happens physiologically when you bleach your teeth. Bleaching agents work through oxidation. They do not selectively target only the stain molecules. They oxidize the stains and the enamel proteins at the same time. It does not just lift color off the surface, it changes the structure of the tooth itself, and the research on this is fairly consistent. An acidic oral environment accelerates enamel erosion. Low saliva buffering capacity increases discoloration over time. Gut inflammation has been linked to shifts in the oral microbiome, and mineral deficiency weakens enamel to the point where it can no longer effectively remineralize and repair itself between exposures. So whitening strips may make your teeth look brighter for a few weeks, but underneath that brightness, they leave the tooth weaker than it was before. It is a lot like over-bleaching your hair. You get a lighter color for a moment, but you have compromised the structure underneath, and it shows eventually, usually at the worst possible time. Whitening strips strip the enamel, they raise sensitivity, they disrupt the natural balance of your oral microbiome, and then they cause what is sometimes called rebound staining, which, when you step back and really look at it, is honestly a brilliant business model. You whiten, your teeth get sensitive, they turn yellow again, often faster than before, so you whiten again. That is not health care. That is a subscription model, and you are the one paying into it every single month. Let's talk for a moment about why this internal-external connection makes sense biologically, because I think this is the part that actually changes how people think about their own mouths. Your mouth produces somewhere around 1 to 1.5 liters of saliva a day. That saliva is not just water. It carries minerals, enzymes, antibodies, and buffering compounds that are manufactured based on signals from your digestive system, your liver, and your broader metabolic state. When your gut lining is inflamed, when your liver is working overtime processing excess toxins, alcohol, medications, or a diet high in processed food, that burden does not stay contained in those organs. It ripples outward, saliva composition shifts, buffering capacity drops, the mouth becomes a more acidic environment, more hospitable to the bacteria that produce staining compounds, and less able to remineralize enamel between meals the way it's designed to. This is why two people can have nearly identical brushing habits, nearly identical diets on paper, and still end up with completely different results. One person's internal environment supports a resilient, alkaline, well-mineralized mouth. The other person's internal environment is quietly working against every whitening effort they make. Now let me give you the natural root cause protocol. I'm going to walk through this in 4 steps, and I want you to actually follow the order, because each one supports the next. Step 1 is a gentle surface reset, and I want to be very clear about the frequency here, because more is not better. Once a week, and only once a week. Mix a small pinch of baking soda with a small pinch of high-quality activated charcoal. Baking soda acts as a mild alkaline buffer that can help neutralize acidity right at the tooth surface. Charcoal is a gentle binder that can absorb some surface compounds without being abrasive when used sparingly, together, used at this frequency. They can help lift surface staining without introducing acid and without overstripping the tooth. Put a small amount on a soft toothbrush, brush gently for 60 to 90 seconds, once a week, not once a day, once a week. This is a maintenance step, not a daily habit, because overuse can be abrasive over time. Step 2 is oil pulling, and this is one of the oldest oral practices there is, going back centuries in traditional practice. Oil pulling works by binding fat-soluble compounds in the mouth, and many people report a reduction in bad breath and improved gum comfort with consistent use. Take 1 tablespoon of organic, unrefined coconut oil, put it in your mouth and gently swish it around for at least 10 minutes, ideally closer to 20 if you can manage it while doing something else like showering or getting dressed. Then spit it out into a trash can, not your sink, because it can solidify and clog pipes over time. Do not swallow it. Rinse your mouth with warm water afterward. Do this 2 to 3 times a week, no more than that. This is not a step you want to overdo either. Step 3 is where the real transformation happens, because this is the step that addresses saliva pH from the inside, which is the actual root of everything we've discussed so far. Start incorporating more bitter foods into your meals. Bitter greens like arugula and radicchio, artichoke, lemon and lime, squeezed into water throughout the day. Milk thistle, which has traditionally been associated with liver support. Fresh ginger. These bitter compounds are thought to stimulate digestive function, which in turn can support a more balanced internal terrain. Add culinary herbs generously to your meals. Rosemary, thyme, and basil are not just flavor. They carry compounds that some research associates with antimicrobial and antioxidant properties in the mouth and gut. Before your largest meal of the day, try a small amount of apple cider vinegar diluted in water, taken through a straw to protect your enamel from direct acid contact, followed by a rinse with plain water afterward. It sounds counterintuitive to use something acidic to eventually support a more balanced pH, but the idea here is about supporting digestive function upstream, not about direct contact with the tooth surface. Drink mineral-rich water throughout the day. Add bone broth into your routine a few times a week if that fits your diet, and make sure you're getting enough high-quality sea salt and potassium through whole foods, not processed sources. When your internal terrain becomes more balanced and your saliva shifts toward a healthier pH range, stains simply have a harder time sticking in the first place. This is the step most people skip, and it's the step that actually determines whether steps 1 and 2 hold up over time or get erased within a month. Step 4, and this is the piece almost nobody talks about, is giving your enamel the raw materials it needs to actually rebuild. Enamel does not regenerate the way skin does, but it does undergo a constant subtle process of remineralization when the right minerals are present in your saliva. That means adequate calcium, phosphate, and magnesium in your diet, consistent hydration so your saliva isn't overly concentrated or scarce and giving your mouth breaks between meals so that remineralization actually has time to happen instead of being interrupted by another wave of food and acid every hour. Now let me give you the foods that help, and the foods that quietly work against everything we just covered. On the supportive side, you have grass-fed cheeses, plain unsweetened yogurt, celery, carrots and cucumbers, whole apples and pears, walnuts and macadamia nuts, eggs with the yolk included, meat and fish, spring water, unsweetened. Herbal teas and sugar-free gums sweetened with xylitol, which some research associates with reduced levels of staining bacteria. On the side that quietly and consistently works against your enamel, you have soda, both regular and diet versions. All fruit juice, even the ones marketed as healthy, sports drinks and energy drinks, sweetened coffee drinks, dried fruit, which is far more concentrated in sugar and far stickier than people realize, gummy candy and hard candy, crackers, chips and pretzels, white bread, sugary cereal and most commercial granola, and in general, constant snacking and grazing throughout the day, even on foods that are technically healthy, because it never gives your saliva a chance to reset and remineralize between exposures. So here is your challenge for the next 7 days, and I want you to actually commit to this rather than just nodding along. Stop the chemical whitening completely for this week. Use the baking soda and charcoal combination exactly once. Oil pull once or twice, no more. Drink mineral-rich fluids consistently throughout each day. Support your digestion before your biggest meal using the approach we just walked through, and make a real effort to eat those bitter foods and herbs daily, not just once. You will not just see a difference by the end of the week, you will feel it in your energy, in your digestion, and in how your mouth actually feels by the end of each day, because your smile is not only cosmetic, it is metabolic, it is a direct reflection of what is happening on the inside of your body, and it has been trying to tell you that for longer than you probably realized. You do not need another cover-up sitting in your bathroom drawer, you need root cause whitening, and that starts today with the very next meal you eat. One more thing before you go. If your energy crashes in the afternoon, if your belly will not budge no matter what you try, or if you feel inflamed no matter how clean you think you're eating, those are connected to everything we just talked about, and that might be a conversation for another video. If this helped you, drop a tooth emoji in the comments so I know to keep making videos like this one, and send this to someone you love who keeps whitening their teeth, but never manages to stay white. Let's get them out of that cycle too. Thank you for watching all the way through. I know this one ran longer than usual, and I appreciate you sticking with it. I will see you in the next one.